Hey, I'm Jay from Ecotech, and I'm here with Frank from Worldwide Corals.
How's it going, guys?
And what I wanted to talk about with you today was something that's pretty topical in the industry right now, which is the livestock, the source of livestock, the impact of some of the changing conditions out there in terms of the availability of what you can get.
Of course. I mean, I think everybody knows now that we're not getting Indonesia, Fiji corals, live rock from certain areas, and it's going to make a big impact and change with this industry. And this is what we love and do, and part of what we do is grow corals, and to be able to not get certain corals is going to be a little tough. But what's nice is being that the capacity that we have with what we do, it's just we have a substantial amount of livestock. So we feel good that we are setting a precedence for the future of what we do, but at the same time we still enjoy bringing in new things, of course, and seeing what's new has always intrigued us into wanting to grow more and wanting to find more corals. So it's definitely been a tough one lately.
And you actually have, I mean, before Worldwide, you have a long history in this industry, right? From the livestock and... Yeah,
I have. It seems like I'm fairly young, of course, but I think, I've started off really young as well. I started 16 working at a fish store, but did wholesale when I was around 19, 20. Moved to California, worked at a place called Fish Heads, and did a lot of importing and brought in a lot of different corals from all sorts of places. So it's from then, about 12 years now, it's been changing quite a bit, and I've been seeing the changes. Less amount of certain species, the quotas on live rock, just the variety of things that we used to, I feel like we just take for granted, really.
In the hobby.
In the hobby, of course. We bring in so much livestock, and sometimes you don't realize that there's things missing that we used to enjoy a lot, and you don't see some of that come in as much as it used to.
And that's sort of it, though. It's that in terms of as we move forward as an industry, more and more of it is being cultivated,
exactly,
like at the Worldwide Coral Farm.
Exactly.
But we also, I mean, the availability of that wild-caught stuff is also valuable because it keeps the biodiversity in captivity high.
Exactly. And I think overall, the more variety you have, the more species we have, we can learn more from just certain things.
Husbandry.
Husbandry and just certain corals that may not work as well, or certain corals that do grow faster that we feel as we should start growing more of, because it shows that it's doing very well in captivity. And that's what we like to transfer that to, is to get corals that do very well, so that everybody else can do well with them as well, so it transfers easily to the home aquarium.
And I mean, because you've been in the different parts of the industry, I mean, the number of people whose livelihoods in terms of their employment, all the way from the mariculture out in Indo, I think you've been out there, right?
I have been out there. I've seen some of the facilities, and there's a lot of people that rely on this, and it's unfortunate that now they have to figure out something new, maybe. I mean, in all hopes, we feel like there might be a change in the next year, and hopefully it comes back, and maybe the amount of collected species may downgrade, but overall we do hope that it comes back eventually. So it's kind of a thing that we're just unaware of. We don't know what's going to happen. Puts us a little uneasy, but overall we feel comfortable about where we're at and what we do, so we're confident in that.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So what's it like when you go out there? I mean, because we think of it as coming from the ocean, but in reality, a lot of these places, I mean, what they're actually doing is they're growing the coral in the shallows right off the beach.
Right off the beach. I mean, they're collecting, they're putting them in places where honestly they can monitor it and make sure that it's doing well, and hopefully take more clippings and maybe broaden the variety and expand how many pieces they have and things like that. And doing all of that is really going to help, of course, but overall it really comes down to the government and how things are run over there, and it's not anything like...
The government typically doesn't differentiate between mariculture, which is grown off the beach specifically to be harvested, and wild caught, which is on the reef. Where people are going out and actually taking frags from the colonies that are.
Of course. I mean, I think there's a gap between, you know, the education part and having them understand, you know, what we're trying to achieve. And, you know, overall, I feel like it's just it's just about money, I think. But who knows? I mean, it's hard to tell because no one can really give you a real answer, unfortunately. I mean, we don't know why it just suddenly stopped. But, you know, hopefully it comes back, and that's what we're hoping for.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, you're just going to continue to grow more and more in the agriculture
exactly.
facility, right?
I mean, our focus is always about being growing. You know, I mean, it's what we have and what we're going to keep going forward with is the stuff that we know that does well, and you know, that's just what we got, and hopefully we bring some more things along as times change. But you know, we have to set that precedence, I think, with everyone because of what's happened recently. It should hit people hard, you know, especially if your livelihood's you know, depending on it.
And I mean, and that's, you know, you're talking about the people out there who are mariculturing the coral. You're talking about the importers who are potentially supplying you some of the stuff.
Exactly.
And then the retail and
retail
employees. And
yeah, I mean, if you have a store, you should be growing. You shouldn't just be thinking about buying the next coral from somewhere and, you know, just making that sale. You should think about holding it and maybe, you know, think about growing it if you can. You know, and it's not always a perfect case with everybody, but always having that second thought that there might be a chance I might not be able to get more. Yeah. Yeah,
very true. And in a way, it's almost preserving some of this biodiversity by actually having it in captivity, which is really cool as well. Of course.
I mean, not every coral is easy to keep, but I mean, I think we've done really good with what we've done so far.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
Well, thank you so much. I mean, that's really interesting, and
yeah. Appreciate you having me.
On the couch, on the tank couch.
Yeah, it's a great place. It's good to visit you guys, definitely.
Well, we appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you.
Take it easy.
Yeah.